I think the most unique thing is probably its location. So the school is in a valley, it's in the Dart Valley. It's really near to the Dartmoor National Park. It's an absolutely incredibly beautiful location. It's natural, the nature literally permeates the entire school and a lot of what we do. So that's something for me that really comes through really strongly. It's also about the community. It's an incredibly warm community of people that are here, both the students and also the parent body. And the wider setting actually is also very alternative and really supports the school and the families within it in a way that maybe you don't necessarily feel in other settings. I think the most brilliant thing about this school is just that it is an all-through school, and you have that journey from the little child in the kindergarten and the imagination and the really gentle start to education that the school offers. And then you watch as the young person unfolds into an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, an adolescent, and then eventually how they are just the most incredibly straight, intelligent, resilient young people as they step out into the world. And I always talk about how disarming actually they can be with how direct they are with their eye contact. I just find they're just so upright and so self-aware and conscious as young people stepping out into the world. So that's something that really inspires me to be here and to work here. So even though we're this tiny little school in South Devon and we have just 220 students, we actually are a really international place. So we have students from all over the world, from Brazil to Japan to Australia, from America, as well as from our local area. So the school is really diverse, and it gives all of the students just a totally different flavour to being in a regular school. And it's just a colourful, diverse, beautiful experience for the young people to be here. So I think the school is an interesting, it's an interesting concept because it isn't just the buildings. It isn't just the beautiful grounds. It isn't just the children who come here and the parents and the students. We are co-creating something every day that feels fundamentally valuable to the world. The teachers bring something so special and unique to the students every day. And the administrative staff, the support team, they facilitate that every day. And we co-create that together with the parents and the students, so that there's this school where, you know, the children have a lovely journey and they enjoy their education. And when you walk around, and when I do my tours of the school, you know, they're engaged, they are focused, they are having fun, they're smiling, they're enjoying life actually. And when they go out, they're really able to go out into the world and make a fundamental difference for good. And I think in this world today, that's what we need, is children who become adults who can make change. I held a birthday party actually for my own children, and they were all Waldorf children in this birthday party. My little one was just 4, but the children around in the party were up to about the age of 12 and small babies as well. And we had a game where they had to, we had lots of cushions on the floor, and as the music stopped, more and more cushions got taken away. And in my experience, the cushions usually get taken away, and then the children are out. That's the aim of the game. That was my understanding of the game. But actually what happened, and I can only put it down to this education because I've never experienced it anywhere else, what actually happened was that the big children picked up the little ones. And it totally blew my mind as a parent that was here. And so that is something that I see on a day-to-day basis here. It's different. It gives a goodness and a nourishment to young people that you just don't see every day in other settings. So as I tour around the school with lots of families, we usually start in the kindergarten, and the kindergarten is just such a beautiful space. It's completely held with surrounded by organic farmland, and it's just filled with birds and trees, and it's a very natural and nourishing environment for young children, completely safe and filled with birdsong. It's amazing. Then we usually go over to the gardens. Every student from class 1 to 6 has a gardening lesson each week, and it starts with learning how to plant and to sow and to harvest, and eventually those students have their own allotments, and they grow their own produce. And for me, that's a really inspiring thing, that 12-year-olds are growing their own food. And the garden has a real seed to plate flavour to it as well. So they do some cooking out there with the produce that they grow. And we also use our gardens to underpin the academic. So a class 12 student once used the garden to create a dye garden, and then she used the dyes or the plants that she grew to dye her fabrics, and then she created a collection, a fashion collection out of it. And for me, that's just the absolute epitome really of what this education is and the interdisciplinary nature of it. And then moving on from the gardens, we have the upper school, and the upper school is based in, it's a beautiful timber framed building. It's warm in the winter and it's cool in the summer, and it's just a gorgeous place for young people to learn. And then we move across to the middle school into Greenwood Hall, and the classrooms there are, they have a little more IT than in the lower school setting, so they have projectors and things over there sometimes, but we still work very much with chalkboards. And the teachers very much still work with the chalkboard drawings that are fairly traditional in Steiner Waldorf settings. And in that building, the students actually move around as well, so they don't stay static in their classrooms, they actually move around for subject lessons. And then finally in Hood Manor. So Hood Manor is our grade 2 listed building, and it's a really rustic, gorgeous, really characterful old building, and our classrooms for the classes 1 to 5 are in Hood Manor. And the classrooms are, they follow the Waldorf colours, and they have traditional desks, individual desks, and they're just a really warm and they are very nourishing for the children. Lots of natural materials. And the teachers obviously make those classrooms their own. And obviously they also do lots of the traditional chalkboard drawings over there too. And some of them are absolutely amazing. The chalkboards really guide the lessons that the teachers are giving. So right from kindergarten, children straight away start working with tools. So they learn to use gardening tools, and they also learn to use whittling knives, very basic whittling knives to learn how to whittle in kindergarten. And you often see lots of little children sitting around a fire whittling in the winter months, which is just lovely to see, and such good practical skills to have. And so they also in kindergarten learn to sew. So they will make, in the final year of kindergarten, they make a baby, very simple doll that they will complete before they go into class 1. And then from class 1, they have handwork, and we call it handwork. And in handwork, the children learn to knit and to sew and to crochet and to cross stitch, and they're really working with their fine motor skills and developing a creative element as well. And they're given an idea of what to make, but within that, there's lots of creative opportunities for the children. And then going on from the lower school, they then move into the high school. So in class 6, they then start to use a sewing machine in the soft crafts. And they begin by making a pillow, for example, an appliqued pillow, and they learn how to do buttonholes, and they learn how to put a zip in, and gradually they build their skills until they are able to make their own clothing. So that's the soft craft curriculum. And then we also have the hard craft. So our school has the facilities for woodwork, for basketry, and also for metalwork. So we have our own forge, and all of the classes from class 4 upwards do woodwork, and then in the high school they also do metalwork.